the DRF race of the day for Friday, December the 29th. It's race number 7 at Santa Anita, the $100,000 Eddie Logan Stakes for 2-year-olds going 1 mile on the turf. Let's take a look at this field. The horse on the far outside, Stay Hot, beat several of these last time out in the Cecil B. DeMille when he rallied from off of a fast pace and got a clean outside trip, and that could be a similar situation on Friday at Santa Anita. We throw up the Timeform US pace projector, and you'll note that red bar, which indicates that this pace could be run at a very quick clip, and I agree with Timeform US that the 3 Practically Broke could be the one to make the running. After all, he showed sprint speed in his career debut, going 5/8 of a mile, and now stretching out, he should be the one to get to the front. The 1 Charge for Gold and the 4 Invincible, they battled it out for the early lead through a hot pace in the Cecil B. DeMille, and you could argue they canceled each other out. Perhaps they won't want a similar situation here. Charge for Gold draws an inside post and might opt for a pace-tracking, ground-saving pocket trip. Invincible's connections remove blinkers, which is often an indication that they want the horse to settle a bit. I do think Practically Broke's going to get to the front, and I do think they're going to be going pretty solid pace. Charge for Gold has shown the ability to rate and finish, as he did in his career debut, and first time 2 turns last time out, he was just keyed up in the Cecil B. DeMille, and he and Invincible battled it out. All things considered, Charge for Gold ran well. He won the duel, but he lost the war. He was only beaten less than 3 lengths after setting those fast fractions, and I think you don't want to hold that race against him. He has a lot of upside potential. He should get a better trip, and he's going to be a big price. I think there's a good chance he outruns his odds. Lord Bullingdon is the number 2, and I love the way this horse kicked home 2 starts back at Santa Anita in stakes action. He bobbled at the start that day, then saved ground in mid-pack, came 5 wide into the stretch, and once produced, it was a very strong late kick. He dusted those foes in the stretch. Based on that race, he was favored in the Cecil B. DeMille, and I'm just not sure the trip was there for him. He did get a hot pace. He was in between horses on the back stretch and into the turn. You could tell that the jock wanted to get out for a clear run, as they did 2 starts back, and it wasn't there for him. So he had to stay over and behind horses for most of the stretch. He wasn't necessarily blocked or impeded, but I just don't think he had his best shot. If he could have gotten to the outside, I think he would have done more. He finished okay in between horses. I think if you look at his race 2 starts back, that's the race you want to concentrate on. He's going to get the right setup. Maybe this time they get him into the clear for a kick. Practically Broke's the number 3. Here's his career debut, going 5/8 of a mile. He set the pace inside the favored runner-up, and he just keeps on going despite failing to change leads in the stretch. I do think this horse has enough pedigree to go a 2-turn mile, and Practically Broke is the horse that's likely to make the lead. He earned a respectable 70 Beyer speed figure in his career debut. But I am concerned that the pace might be faster this time around than what he faced in his debut, and maybe, just maybe, that, coupled with him stepping up in class, could work against him. Invincible is the number 4. He dueled with Charge for Gold last time out in the Cecil B. DeMille, and he was the first one to crack. I don't think he ran very well that day. They're going to take the blinkers off, and maybe that'll allow him to settle just a bit better. But again, the pace should be fast no matter what, and it's not like he's going to be taking 15 lengths off the lead. Even if he is, I don't believe he's the best closer in this field, and if he's close to a fast pace, I'd rather have a horse like Charge for Gold, a horse that finished ahead of Invincible with a similar trip last time out. I think Invincible needs to show a little bit of improvement for Doug O'Neill. Twirling Point's only raced once on turf in his career, and he took a lot of money. He was favored in a bug and bulky field, but that race was at Kentucky Downs, and we've seen that course just wreak havoc on several inexperienced runners. It's just testing and demanding, and some young horses aren't ready for it. Since then, Twirling Point's done good things on the synthetic surface, and last time out at Turfway, while he was beaten as the favorite, that pace was pretty strong for 2-year-olds. They ran the opening quarter in 23-2, the second quarter in 23-1, and Twirling Point was right up close to that hot pace. He still finished a solid second, directly ahead of a horse that would come back to win a $50,000 claimer at Turfway with a 73 Beyer speed figure. I'm not willing to give up on him as a turf horse. He's certainly bred for the surface, and I think he could settle into the second flight. I respect horses trained by Jonathan Thomas, and I respect horses shipping out to the West Coast to run in these stakes races. Final Boss is up next, and he took to turf like a duck to water in his second life. lifetime start, winning going the straight 6.5 furlongs. Another situation where the pace was fast for 2-year-olds. The opening quarter was 22.96, the second quarter a solid 22.83. Final Boss was right up close to that pace, and you see him digging down deep to win. The fourth place horse would flatter the effort, coming back to graduate in a maiden special way with a 72 Beyer speed figure. He's a son of American Pharaoh. The 1 mile distance won't be a problem for him, and I do believe he's rateable. He might sit a similar trip as Twirling Point in the second flight. Miracle Mark is up next, and he was a gate-to-wire winner 2 starts back, despite being very late to change leads, but he showed off another dimension in the Cecil B. DeMille when he finished third behind Stay Hot. Of the horses coming out of the Cecil B. DeMille, the horses that received sort of the proper race flow from off the pace, I thought Miracle Mark had the best trip of the 3, working out an in-out journey. He did run well to be third. He has a lot of upside. He seems to be improving with each and every start, and he's going to get a setup once again, and maybe he'll fall through the cracks from a wagering standpoint. I kind of prefer some of the other closers in this race, but I won't be surprised if Miracle Mark runs well. American Hope is up next, and this horse ran very well when stretched out to a mile in his second lifetime start. We're going to watch that race right now. He's another son of American Pharaoh, and he got a really good setup from a pace standpoint. They did not go fast. A half mile in 48 seconds flat. He was prompting the pace from the outside, and he's able to get it done gamely. I still think this horse is learning, and being a third-time starter on Friday means that he might have more upside than some of these other rivals. Pratt retains the mount, and American Hope, I think this time around, will revert to the closing tactics that worked pretty well for him in his career debut when he was beaten by Invincible. He fell far back early, but showed some moxie in the stretch. I think we'll see that situation again from American Hope. And here's Stay Hot winning the Cecil B. DeMille. It was a situation that had a very fast pace. He swings wide, 6 wide, turning into the stretch, while you see Lord Bullington try to get outside. He couldn't really do it, so he had to stay in. Stay Hot had the clear run, and he was able to beat 4 of these. Throughout his race 2 starts back in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, he was in too tough. He looked good winning with a more tactical trip 3 starts back. But this time around, breaking from this outside post, expect Stay Hot to be taken back, maybe all the way back to last, and try to duplicate his last performance with a last to first run. Before we take a look at my top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time for the Eddie Logan. I'm hoping Lord Bullington can maybe turn the tables on Stay Hot, and hoping he can get to the outside and show off that kick that he displayed 2 starts back. I'm going 2, 8, 9, and 7. I do think American Hope is a horse that can show off a little bit of upside. Interesting race, one of 2 stakes races at Santa Anita on Friday. This is your race of the day, the Eddie Logan. Best of luck.